Hey everyone, DemoniusX here. I've been reading on some forums and whatnot about some people's displeasure in the company known as Gamestop. And I have to intend to agree that GameStop is rubbish. The reason why I say this is because their customer service is appalling and their forceful attempt to give gamers little choice to what they want to buy and force them into buying what's in the in now. What I mean by that is, say you went and purchased, say they still carried N64 games. You go buy an N64 and they'll come, you bring up to the counter to pay for it, and they're like, oh, have you heard of, did you see Halo for the Xbox 360? Or did you see Resistance 3 for the PS3? You know, they try to sell you new shit because they want their commission, and you can just tell them to fuck right off because you're not there to buy a PS3 or an Xbox 360 game. You're there to buy an N64 game. Now, alas, they don't carry N64 games no longer. And they recently stopped selling Game Boy Advance games. But I haven't been there since 2008, and I'll tell you why. Back when I used to collect NES cartridges at Funko Land, I used to go up there and spend anywhere from $2 to $5 on games for the NES, and eventually they were getting annoyed that I was going there always buying these cheapo games. Now, I find that to be rubbish because as long as I'm getting rid of their inventory of NES games that they don't want in their stock no longer, and I pay for it, I don't see the problem. But, you know, they have their issues because I guess the higher the item is sold, the more commission they get. I don't know exactly how it works. Which is why I would never work for GameStop in the first place, because I would always tell people my brutally honest opinion on certain games, consoles, and the like. I'm more of a retro gamer anyways, so if I were to be employed anywhere, I would like to work at vintage stock, because they specialize on not only new tech, but old tech as well. And you know me, I'm a retro fan of everything. I enjoy more retro games and retro music, movies, all that stuff more so than the new stuff, because I think we're overly spoiled in the tech department. But moving along, they were getting annoyed. And this one worker, she was, I really can't remember her name. Her name started with a T. I want to say Tricia. Not Trisha, Tricia. I believe that was her name. Anyhow, or if not, we can just call it that for now, because this happened a long time ago. This is back when I was getting high on a day-to-day basis. Moving forward with this topic here, there was a time I went up there to buy TNC Surf Designs, Tecmo Bowl, and Clash of Demon Head, because I earned my salary working with my father on some home projects, and I had about $10, I want to say $10, $15. So I went up there to expand my NES collection as I normally would with my disposable income. So I go up there. Tecmo Bowl was gone, unfortunately, so I just had to settle for TNC Surf and Clash of Demon Head, which you probably have seen in my NES video. And she says, we are not selling NES games today. We are having a contest. I'm like, what kind of contest are you having? Oh, just a contest. She wasn't elaborate. And all the NES games weren't facing outward, like label out. They were facing vertical. So I kind of believed her. But at the same time, I didn't know. I was like, okay, so what are you saying? You can't sell me Nintendo titles today? She's like, no, not today. I'm sorry. So, in a fit of disappointed rage, you know, when you go to the store to get something you really want and they don't have it, so you go home kind of pissed off. You know, thank God for the internet, because now we can look for stuff online that you couldn't find in the store and find it there, which is very convenient. And so I go there. So after that, I go home, and I told my mother of the ordeal. Now, my mother's the type of person who likes to put herself in other people's situations, which I don't think is the right thing to do. But she found I put my wall on the table, and I went upstairs to my room because I was a little pissed off, and She called the place on her own and bitched out Tristia. And I don't know all she said, but needless to say, my mom gave me a number to call and explain the ordeal that happened at GameStop. And this was before it became GameStop. This is when it was Funko Land, before it was bought out by, I think it was EB. Bought out by Babbage's. I can't really remember how the merger began. I'll have to look it up for myself. I'm not exactly sure or clear on how Funko Land became GameStop. It was bought out by a company or merged with some. I can't remember. It was a long time ago, back in I think 98, 99, because I remember I played Dreamcast when the GameStop logo was above the store instead of Funko Land. That aside, let's see if I can remember how this went about. She gave me a number to call. She looked it up in the phone book. It was the Better Business Bureau. She's like, call them, tell them of what happened, and hopefully something can be done, because that woman needs to get fired. She's a bitch. And she was. She always had an attitude. You always try to be friendly with her and try to be cool with her, but if you did something or bought something that was cheap, she would always have a fucking attitude. And she had no management authority at all. She was just your normal everyday employee that didn't know what the fuck she was talking about or what she had to say. Anywho, I called the Better Business Bureau. I told them of my problem. They decided to investigate the order. And in my favor, they fired Tricia. And the manager offered me 5 games under $10 of my choice. Now, I don't remember exactly all 5 games, but I do remember 2, and that was TNC Surf and Clash of Demon Head. Now, if you watched my NES collection video, you notice I don't have TNC Surf anymore. That was one of the games I traded to my brother for Castlevania 3. Now, my brother is not necessarily your normal retro gamer. He is pretty much an RTS fanboy. He plays nothing but Warcraft 3. And let me tell you, when you live with that motherfucker, that's all you hear. It gets on your last nerve. He plays that, and he plays EverQuest 2. Yeah. Well, I'm not an MMO fan anyways. He likes EQ2. He doesn't like WoW. He tried it, and I agree. WoW's garbage. You just run around and attack stuff. I mean, come on. You do that in Zelda. But, anyways, back to present-day GameStop. The last time I went there, I bought 1 game and 1 game only. And it was the last game I bought from there because their customer service was appalling. And I really wanted to ring that little Napoleon Dynamite looking motherfucker and take his glasses and shove it down his throat while I piss on his face while he's trying to get the glasses out of his throat. Anyways, the last game I bought there was this. Okay. He says the ratings were shit and the game is garbage. It's basically a 6 to 8 year port of this. Now, yeah, I own both. Okay. I'm a big fan of Rygar. I've always been a big fan of Rygar. The NES game was, if you see my videos, that was one of my absolute favorites. It's a game that, to me, holds the test of time. I like Rygar better than Zelda, to be honest. Not this Rygar. This Rygar, it's a great adventure. It's fantastic, but the original Rygar, in my opinion, is better than the original Legend of Zelda. To me, Zelda 1 is a basic mirage of bullshit. I don't like it at all. I've beaten it many times, yes, because when you're a kid, it's something cool. But then when Zelda 2 came out, to me, that was a lot better. I enjoyed the side-scroll aspect much, much better. But then Zelda Link to the Past came out, and then I decided Overhead is actually not so bad. But Zelda 1 to me is crap. I don't like the annoying theme that loops over and over again. I don't like the bosses. I think they're weak and ridiculous, and I don't like the gameplay. It just feels off. I mean, I know maybe I'm just speaking a little ignorant on this topic, but that's just my opinion. You don't have to take it to heart. Anyways, I've had I go up to the counter to pay for Rygar, and the guy says to me, you know, the rating is crap. you shouldn't waste your money on this game. Why don't you buy something for Xbox 360 or PS3? I said HD gaming sucks my dick. I don't like HD gaming because it creates snobs, and you are one of them. I want to pay for my shit and then get the fuck out of here. And I said this. And there were kids in the store. I didn't give a fuck. I hate kids anyway. So if they don't like what they hear, they can get the fuck out, and the parents can take them out with them. So, being in my nerdy fit of rage, he rang my game up, didn't say a word. I said thank you and have a horrible night. And I walked out of there. Never laid foot in another GameStop from that point on. From that point on, I went to Game Crazy, Game Rush, and I went online, and now I go to Vintage Stock because I live in a area where they have the franchise. You can go there. I mean, we have them down here, and that's fantastic because I really like Vintage Stock because it has a lot of stuff of old, and it has old and new. It fits everybody, and the prices are reasonable. But sometimes you can find. Sometimes I like to compare prices though. Like if I look at a game there and I have the money to buy it, but I'm thinking, well, you know what? Maybe I should go home and look on the internet. If I can find it cheaper, then I'll go ahead and purchase it there. But with shipping including, obviously. But if the game is cheaper here, I'll come back here and pick it up. And usually that's how it happens. But I've gotten a fistful of games that are gems for $20, such as Knights of the Round for the Super Nintendo, the arcade port from Capcom, really good by the way. Soul Blazer and something else I really can't remember at this moment, but yeah, I also bought the second time I came down here, I bought Super High Impact. Go ahead and laugh. I like that football game because it's fun. They're a Skulljagger, Revolt of the Westikins, and Gauntlet, all for $10. So you can't go wrong with that. And see, in GameStop, when you call there or go there to buy something, they force pre-orders on your ass. They're like, "Hi, this is GameStop where you can pre-order the latest Gears of War, Call of Duty, Halo." Who cares? Except first-person shooter fans. That I am not. Even though that makes me look like kind of hypocritical because I own a few. But then again, that's back when it wasn't jocked. See, I like games that aren't popular anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like Halo, I don't like Gears of War, I don't like Call of Duty because it's popular and people jock them for the wrong reasons, and it creates a fanboy masquerade of annoyances. You should know what I'm talking about. Anyways, but to be off track here, lately I've been seeing people wanting remakes or re-releases of certain games, and that's fine. If you can't find a certain game for a certain system, it's normal to want it re-released or put in a way that you can, buy it again or own it in some way that you never got to own it when it originally was released. And I'm guilty of this, and I want to show what I mean by that. I got Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. I got those for the 64. And then I picked this up for $50. And then this was $20. And that's pretty much it. I don't normally do that. I don't normally like to pick up games more than once. Now, I didn't get the Virtual Console releases because that's over excessive. If you have a system that plays games such as the Wii plays GameCube games, so why go buy a digital copy of a game where you can just get the physical copy and get the same experience? But people are like, "Oh no, I don't like to have a bunch of physical media." Shut up, fuck off, you're an idiot. But yeah, GameStop has really been going downhill in terms of customer service friendly output. They force things on people. When you buy a game for a system that they feel isn't popular, they look at you like you're some kind of outcast. That's not your role as a customer service representative. A customer brings something to the counter, they are wanting to buy it. ring the motherfucker and have him go on his merry little way so he can play his game. Don't stall him and ask him to make a pre-order on a game that he or she may not care about. I mean, I find that stupid. If they want to pre-order it, they'll pre-order it. Don't shove it down their throat. Of course, then you got people with early Alzheimer's, and they're all like, yeah, I forgot that game was supposed to come out. Well, if you fucking pay attention to the shit that comes out thanks to the world of the internet, you may know or knew it was coming out. But whatever, I mean, I'm done with GameStop. I don't know about all you. If you have any horror stories, you know, go ahead and share them with me in the comment section. Make it short and sweet. It doesn't matter to me. But, I mean, I've had my share, and I shared 2 with you, and it feels good to get that off my chest, because to me, GameStop is a lot like Walmart, okay? It's a place that's overgrown with business, and they continue to make sales, but their service is sloppy. I mean, Walmart really sucks, but that's a topic for another time. GameStop also sucks. I don't like their forceful approach against the consumers. It's almost as if they're trying to corner you. You know, I know they want to make commission. Like, that's apparent. You can see it every time you go there. They want to make some kind of commission, but the truth of the matter is, they're just there to buy something they want. If they ask you for your input, then give it to them. It's simple. I mean, it's the world of retail. It's how it works. People want something, they're going to ask for it. If they don't want something, they're not going to ask for it. But, whatever. You know, we can't control the world, and the world can't control us. It's a clusterfuck right down the middle. Especially when it comes to retail and purchasing things that we like. So the last time I've been to GameStop was 2008. And do I ever plan on going there again? Hell no. I will go to Vintage Stock, Amazon, eBay, eStarland, places that sell retro games for good prices, and I don't have to deal with bullshit reps trying to make me pre-order something I'm not interested in. Anyways, this is DemoniusX. I hope you enjoyed this vlog for what it's worth. I know I was all over the place on it like I always am, but that's just how my brain works, unfortunately. Anyways, I hope you enjoy it. You know, I'll try to get some more material out there sooner or later. You know, I've been really busy with a lot of things, so I haven't had really time to get in front of the camera. And unfortunately, every time I try to fucking do a review, I've been using Virtual NES to try to record games and then try to do narration, and for some reason Windows Movie Maker cuts it off when I wasn't even finished with both the narration or the clip I was making. It's fucking bullshit. So, but I know this is super off topic, but if anyone can tell me of a Windows Movie Maker alternative, something that works but is more stable than that piece of shit, please feel free to let me know. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't tell me Virtual Dub, because that sucks. I tried using that. It's a brain ache. And I just want something simple and does all the hard work for you. You know, because I don't have a lot of time to sit there and dick with bitrate settings and fucking frames per second. You know, I just want something to run at 29.95. That's enough, at least in my opinion. Anyways, DemoniusX, take care, you guys. I'll make a video sometime soon about other things. But I just wanted to get this off my chest, and if you have any horror stories, please feel free to share. I'll prove them so others can see the horror stories that you write in the comment section. So, you take care, and we'll see you later.